Tag TV and Tag Radio be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. Some will be surprised. Most will simply be amazed to learn just what's happening in 2 square miles of Middle Georgia. It's between Mercer University and Macon, Georgia's downtown district, comprised of several historic city neighborhoods. Oh, it's more than just another cherished area of small-town Georgia seeing some revitalization. Oh, no. It's an entire community and economic development movement. What began as a senior project from a group of Mercer grad students has developed into a revitalization movement unlike any other of its kind, a hip and historic place to live, work, and play. And if this cool factor isn't enough, there are huge incentives, down payment assistance programs, and property tax freezes, among even more incentives. An integral part of the movement is boosting the local economy by attracting new businesses, including business development consulting, marketing, and tax credits. Then there's the movement's spirit of innovation, a dedicated initiative to networking technology know-how and already available local, regional, and national capital resources, all aimed at entrepreneurs, inventors, and growth-oriented enterprises. No, not just another place. It's a movement you need to know about. Greetings, everyone. It's Friday, September 6, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. Our special statewide economic development series focused on Middle Georgia continues, and this time not just on a beautiful or historic place, but on an entire movement known as the College Hill Alliance, a master plan in daily action that is leapfrogging Middle Georgia's Central Macon downtown business district, several historic city neighborhoods, and a portion of Mercer University's campus into what was once could only be imagined, creating a unique environment embraced by a spirit of community and innovation, ideal to live, work, learn, dine, shop, play, and grow big and beyond your dreams. Up to something better than ever imagined, and this Tech Talk focus on Middle Georgia's development, Nadia Osman, Director of Revitalization and Business Initiatives for the College Hill Alliance. Nadia joined the Alliance in 2009 and is responsible for advancing the Alliance's goals of attracting new business investment and entrepreneurs. 2 square miles, empowered by a vision of economic and community development that has taken a small place and transformed it into a huge movement. Be amazed, be very amazed, as we speak with Nadia Osman about the Middle Georgia College Hill Alliance. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Nadia, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you, Frank.
Proactive economic development. I think there's a lot of our listeners that are pretty much used to it nowadays. I can remember a time when it was certainly in the large metropolitan centers. It had been going on for a long period of time, but the progressive smaller cities, not only throughout the state of Georgia, but throughout the United States, really kind of had to bootstrap those activities and usually had a lot of volunteers and groups that kind of formed together to make something happen. And I can remember early on where the concern was our kids didn't have a place to stay. You know, they were graduating from college and they were getting great business opportunities, but they were moving away. Let's talk a little bit about your perception in terms of localized economic development, and then let's talk a little bit about what I think a lot of people have become aware of, and that's the College Hill Corridor.
Yeah. Well, you know, the College Hill Corridor in and of itself actually started with Mercer University students. It is a location that connects the university to downtown Macon. It contains 2.2 square miles of a historic in-town neighborhoods, and it's also a movement that those students got excited about the possibilities for this area and went forward and had that grassroots movement behind them. But getting back to what you were saying about about graduate retention. This whole College Hill initiative has been going on since 2007, and we've had a lot of successes, but one thing that we keep coming back to is out of the 26,000 students that graduate in the central Georgia area, we are not retaining enough of them if we want to succeed in the future. We have them here. We get them excited about the city and the colleges that they're attending, but we have actually decided that it's imperative that we not only focus on community and economic development, but that a critical piece of that is that graduate retention, and that those young professionals will shape our city's futures, and that we've got to keep them around so they can do so.
Bloom where you're planted? More or less. I mean, obviously entrepreneurship, stay here. And, you know, one of the challenges, I think, unfortunately, is chicken and egg. I know not to use a number of analogies, but where I'm going is that there's got to be opportunities for me to stay there. I can get my degree if I don't have the business opportunity. And so many times, either that large employer is not necessarily around, or even worse, large employers are around that kind of sort of absorb the best of the best and don't necessarily leave open other opportunities. I know, say, for example, I'm talking about Columbus and Synovus and the whole fintech marketplace is so dominant in terms of the local economy that they're, I guess, like a lot of places, but they're craving for entrepreneurship, startup situations that will allow some of these younger kids to, and I shouldn't say kids, but younger students to adapt themselves into the career.
Yes, the situation that we find ourselves in Macon is some of the larger employers are here, some of them have left, but the skill sets that our students are coming out with, they're not tailored for these larger companies, and we don't think that they should be. We think that these students, if they have engineering degrees, should be able to go and work for their own tech firm or a tech firm of their choosing. So what we are trying to work on now through many partnerships is creating a space where entrepreneurship and just getting past that word, but just to making things, to doing things, to small business, where that is a culture. There is a network of people who are excited about it and who can help you do that. And so that's what the focus of our office, the College Hill Alliance, is. We have come very far when it comes to the whole live, work, play situation with regards to live and play. We've created a place that has affordable housing for a range of incomes. It has excellent quality of life, but as you said, we've got to get back to that, the reason for them to stay here. And if they want that house and they want to go to that concert in the park, they're going to have a job to support it. So that's something that's very personal to me, being a Mercer alumni, watching all of my friends have to go home or have to move out of state or out of the city, not because they wanted to. Mercer had spent 4 years, and the community organizations had spent that time as well, pruning these students and giving to these students, and they had to take that away to somewhere else because they couldn't find opportunities here. And so really we're trying to reverse that and trying to make it so that whether you want to create something with your hands or whether you want to create something with your mind, you have a place that you can do that, and you have resources to do that. And it's something that you can find online easily and something that you can find in person easily. I think that's a lot of the issue that we have in the Central Georgia region. We have many nonprofits and many economic development support agencies, but there's so many it can seem overwhelming, and so we're working to create a system that actually would be more of some type of matchmaking where you can actually talk about what you need and find a support organization that has those needs within their mission. And I think that will definitely help to make entrepreneurship in this area more feasible.
Well, I think one of the things, especially I guess with the Technology Association, hammer nail, we have a tendency to think everything is technology-based. And,
right.
And the reality of it is baker, candlestick maker. I mean, it's a full ecosystem of being a good business person and being able to do a startup or contribute to the community based on supply and demand. And that's an ecosystem that needs to be developed and over a period of time evolve. Talk about some unique approaches. Are you coming at it from a community revitalization standpoint that's unique?
Yes, definitely. So what we're doing now is continuing to focus on those placemaking efforts. The community development work that has gone into the housing and the quality of life, but now focusing on the innovation piece, we're exploring, we began, similar to what you said, looking at more traditional tech-based entrepreneurship and how we could support that. And then suddenly it dawned on me, and it shouldn't be something that's new to me because I'm from Savannah. I've been surrounded by the Savannah College of Art and Design, but I feel like the base in all of these cities that we emulate is arts and culture. And if we don't have a place where those entrepreneurs can thrive, I think that we have just completely removed the foundation and just started to pile bricks on top. So what we're looking at now is, in terms of a physical space, is a mixture between co-working, where people can come and collaborate and, have that wonderful free coffee and that mail service, but also a maker space. This maker movement is really taking over, and it's all about making things, and that can be fine art or that can be restorative furniture. And so I don't want us to start limiting the future entrepreneurs of Macon based on what we think they need or who we think they are. And that, to me, is how this all really ties back to the College Hill story. Our office works to implement a master plan for the College Hill corridor area that is filled with community input. It was not what was told to the community that they need. It was what they wanted, articulated very well by Interface Studio out of Philadelphia. And so now, thanks to the Knight Foundation, we're able to take that same approach with entrepreneurs. And I think that's very different.
Really?
Looking at what you have in terms of, we have a fantastic healthcare system, and with the Warner Robins Air Force Base, we certainly want to look at ways that we can commercialize those applications. But that's only one piece of the puzzle, and I don't think that that's the piece of the puzzle that is really going to start everything. I think we've got to get back to that arts and culture base and just making it seem more feasible for people just walking around trying to envision their futures. And if they see a space where people are making and creating their own futures, hopefully that will seem like a reality that they can make in their home of Macon.
Well, you mentioned something that they need versus what they want.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we experienced with even education, it wasn't about how kids wanted to be taught, it was how they wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And the realization that one of the things that we do say in the technology industry, everything is the same, only different. The impact of when analog went to digital and digital became ubiquitous because of broadband, and of course now you've got the whole broadband initiative that's even making that more extensive in terms of statewide. But then you've got clouds and applications, and so in that environment, technology is kind of becoming ubiquitous, and really it's kind of a return back to innovation. Even internally in a lot of major organizations are going back to innovation and entrepreneurial thinking. Mm-hmm. For example, again, to use an analogy, but in the entertainment field, that is the technology component to it is not a vertical as far as an industry sector is concerned. It's actually the core of all of those creative functions, whether it's film or broadcast or music or gaming. The one thing that's common all the way through is technology. So the maker concept, I think, kind of blends that to go back to that baker candlestick maker, where in that same environment you're getting the collaboration on the way, I call them backpackers, but the millenniums think, they're not going to come back and find, one of the things we talked about a couple of years ago was it wasn't about jobs anymore, it was about work. It was about contract work, even branding yourself individually,
right,
so that you actually became your own source of revenue by consulting or by contractual work. So I think that maker movement's kind of got that sort of feel into its veneer. Let's talk a little bit about some of the results. Are you actually seeing some exciting results that are coming out of the initiative?
Yes, we are. And, there are many different things that we could say that we've observed ourselves, but I'm just very impressed by some results that we were able to release recently. The Macon State College conducted this when they were officially Macon State College, and this study found that all of the work that we've been doing with the historic Hills and Heights, the public-private partnership that involves Mercer University, Historic Macon Foundation, Macon Housing Authority, and the city, property tax income has increased 57% in the College Hill neighborhood versus only 30% for Bibb County as a whole. And this next statistic was the most impressive to me. From 2002 to 2011, total property tax income increased by nearly $1 million in our 2.2 square mile College Hill area.
Huh.
So that alone is, and the kicker is that no one is getting kicked out. We have made sure that we are empowering our neighbors and those neighborhood association groups to make sure that if there is a need, if it seems that the way that the neighborhood is developing is not appropriate or is going against the wishes of the current residents, we're right there in it with them. So we really like to be catalysts and we really like to be advocates, but we're just very excited to see those numbers come back because you can feel a movement, you can feel excitement, you can even see excitement, but it comes down to the numbers at some point.
Well, listening to you can hear excitement.
Thanks.
You can hear the passion and the excitement. I guess the emphasis is pretty clear on what you're saying is that it used to be a focus only on economic development. Now it's as much on community development as well.
It is, and we are working now with a focus that economic development is community development, and I think that it is unique in our approach. I think that many people might be doing that or might be thinking that, but to actually be on the ground, combining the two, starting with the placemaking and then adding this economic development innovation piece, I think that we have a very unique model for revitalization, and we've presented at many conferences now, and I think that it's pretty scalable for other cities. We're not rural, we're not completely urban. I guess we're mid-urban, but we're just your typical industrial city that had a big boom, but now we have a lot of brownfields. But those brownfields can be turned into new studios. They can be turned into giant maker spaces. So we have all of the elements at hand, and now it's just about connecting the pieces.
Well, tell us now if I hear it, I get the message, I agree with you, I want to help, I want to support, I want to participate. How do I get involved? How do I get involved in the College Hill Initiative? How do I get involved?
We are online, of course. If you just visit collegehillmacon.com, you can find out all about the College Hill Initiative. But you can also simply sign up for our newsletter or follow us on Facebook. It's the College Hill Alliance. We are all about keeping the community, and I mean that in the broadest sense of the word, informed and engaged. The newsletter only comes out once a month, but it is jam-packed with how this city is changing for the better. We're all over Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. But if you want to get involved, go to collegehillmacon.com, shoot an email through the system to us and say, hey, these are my skills. What can I do to help? Or say, hey, I want to enjoy some of the benefits of this. Maybe I want to move there. Maybe I want to find out about all the free events you have. Any questions you've got, we will answer it within 24 hours. We've got people waiting for your email.